don't see one of them every day, do you? Holy cow bags. It's apparently the yacht is called Kismet. Have a look. And if you want to charter it for a week, it'll cost you $1.2 million. And if you want to buy it, it'll cost you $200 million. So, yeah, it's a bit big to be getting in and out of places, mind. 87.5 meters long it is. Good heavens. Anyway, come to a job on Canary Wharf. This is where this is, and it can't be done. So I'm on my way to Exeter now to revisit that job and hopefully get it finished. Brilliant. I'm on my way to Exeter now. I've been on the road for about 2.5 hours from London, and I must be getting there soon. I hadn't really took a lot of notice of the sat-nav. I've just gone past a sign, 111 miles to Exeter. What? Have they moved it? Good grief. I've just realised we're coming up to Stonehenge, and I've only ever been to see it once before, and I got kicked out because I didn't pay. I walked across the other field next to Stonehenge, and then a woman come over and said, "Oh, you can come in, but you've got to go back to the ticket office and pay." I'm not paying to look at a load of stones in a field. She went, "Oh, well, you'll have to leave then. Follow me this way." I said, "I'll just climb back over the field where I came from, missus. Thanks a lot." So that was my Stonehenge experience. I'm not stopping today either, I'm just going to drive past it, but see if I can show you. See if I can see it. There's congestion, so it'll be nice and slow. There it is, Stonehenge. Some of the stones weigh 25 tons. And it'll cost you the best part of 57 quid to take the kids. A family pass. 57 quid. It's pretty, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Thousands of years old, it's quite, oh, I've lost it. There it is. It is quite impressive for how old it is, but 57 quid all the same. There we go, look. Out of the side window. It is pretty impressive, I'll give it that, but for 57 quid. And the 13 feet high as well, apparently. What a lovely day as well. Look at all that money stood there, look, there's loads of them. Look at them all. Making a fortune. That's where I was, where that camper van was, and I just walked across those two fields to get in and then she threw me out. That's nice, look. Someone stole my badge. Thieving sods. Anyway, here we are back in Exeter. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me that make me love you. Now I'm working in Exeter. I've got basically tidying up to do on this job now. Little bits and bobs to do. There was a mistake made the other week, the last visit. A cable was pulled to the wrong position. I was told to put that cable in and it doesn't go there anymore, so we're going to try and rectify that, but it's a decent enough job. It's a good sized job to be able to complete this week, but we're going to aim for that, and there's little bits and bobs to do. I'm just going to go and do a bit of materials gathering, see if we've got everything we need. So I shall catch up with you soon. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Very slowly, of course. Right, we're coming up to the switchboard at the top of the warehouse today. I'm back in Exeter, obviously, at the fire stove warehouse manufacturing facility near the airport. So we've got a DB up the top to do. I started it yesterday afternoon. I got a little bit done, not a vast amount, but I'm waiting for the switches to get fitted so I can actually start terminating. But I've got 5. I think I've got 5 more cables to put in, and then I can start terminating. We'll have a look to see if there's any switches being installed when we get there. Lovely job. So there's our switches being installed. We'll start getting them termed. There seems to be a lot of single phase stuff, I think. Yeah, it is. It's all single phase. A lot of those cables are 4 cores. But what they have done, look, is they put a skip right in my way. That's going to be a pain because I need to get this lifter up to there. On closer inspection, a lot of these are 3 cores, and obviously that makes sense because on the last video, from the Exeter video, I did a lot of small 16 mils, and they were all 3 cores, weren't they? Then there was a 3 core 70 mil and there was a 4 core 50 mil, but that was really awkward. But it's just for the localized DBs around the perimeter, which go all the way over back to that corner. So obviously, yeah, this is what it's feeding. Idiot. So I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of like machine areas up here, and then the big storage fencing, the big storage shelving. That's going to be obviously for the outgoing stuff. But yeah, now I think of it, of course they're all 3 cores, or the majority of 3 cores, because I wired the other ends of them. Honestly, losing it. Right, I've got this 4 core 50 mil, right, and it's just a little bit awkward to try. I've got a tack on it there to try and bend it, right? So I've got this tack there, which is where I'm going to bend like up there. So I bend that against that, but then I also need it to go back that way. Now to hold this and move it, because it is quite long, it's just a little bit awkward. So what I've done is I've rigged up the ratchet chain block down onto a piece of rope, and then what I've done is I've pulled it up in that direction. And watch, I'll show you what I did. So it's pulled up further than it needs to be, because obviously I don't need it that high. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull at that point. There is where I want it to bend down at that point, not bend over, bend down at that point, right? So obviously that's where I've tied the rope. Now what I'm going to do is pull the cable that way, and it's going to form that bend. Now to try and do that without this rig up, right? So what you've got to do is I'd have to be holding that there, and then I'd have to push that way. Now with that being really long, it's just awkward. It's not difficult to do. It's not like physically to actually bend the cable. It is doable, but just trying to get your body into those different positions, it's just a pain. So why cause yourself heartache? So now I'm just going to take the cable, pull against the rope, normal bend. Now that gets me, again, it's over exaggerated the bend, but when you release the tension on it and you do a big sneeze, there we go, then you get that, right? Now that doesn't look anything at the minute, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that back in there. I'm going to use my piece of FP200 cable and I'm going to get my measure on that. I'm going to put the gland on and then I'll show you that when it sits. Now, hopefully, it'll sit exactly the same as that one. I've put myself under the cosh here, haven't I? Oh dear. I tell you something, it's just happened on this job. It happened last night, right? At around about 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, right? Somebody stole a plumber's tools, right? Now, there's about 40 blokes on this job. It's not a very big job at all. There's about 40 men on it. And somebody has stolen his full bag, just walked over, picked his bag up, walked out, put it in their car or the van or whatever, and they've like robbed it, right? Now, there's a big thing now about tradesmen getting the vans broken into, getting tools stolen, thousands of pounds worth of tools as well, right? So there's a big thing at the moment trying to raise awareness of theft, right? Because, you know, it's our livelihood, that's all we've got. Those things help us feed our children, keep a roof over their head, go on nice holidays, I don't know, buy some deodorant or something to stop yourself itching. Yeah, those things are what we create any good times in our life with, right? And you get scumbags stealing them. But for somebody on a job who's supposed to be a tradesman as well, or at least a construction worker, right? They've walked up, picked a bag of tools up that doesn't belong to them at all and stolen it. Pure that's what they are, right? And there's no two ways about it. There's no two ways to describe people other than, right? Now, those people who steal out of vans are exactly the same, right? But people who steal on site are even lower when you think about it, because you sort of trust those people that they're the same as you, they've come to work, they've got up the same time as you, they're in the same industry, but they come from the same background and all those sort of bit of camaraderie and all that, and they go and steal from you. It's at the lowest of the low, pure low people. So what we need to do, we need to come up with things, deterrents, big whip. That's what we need to come up with. You should, if you get caught on site stealing something, right, you should just be able to be lashed till your back bleeds, because you're absolutely low. Yeah, we need to make a stand, lads and lasses. We need to make a stand, and we need to get something sorted. And there needs to be, I think, worse part. I mean, like, I don't know. Obviously, you could say take the cards, CSCS cards, take them away from them, or whatever their qualification is. If you get caught stealing another man's tools, that's it. You cannot work in that trade again, like a joiner or a plumber or a spark or whatever you are, right? If you get caught stealing, that's it. Construction no longer belongs to you. You cannot go and get a job in construction. You've got to go and work somewhere else, retrain, cost yourself money, lower your wages that you've earned by getting into construction. Absolute scumbags. If I ever caught anybody stealing my gear, well. So yeah, that was just me a little bit of a moan, because it happened on here, and like I said, there's 40, maybe 50 men on the job. Scumbags, man, absolute scumbags. Right, that's that 50 installed. I've still got that on it. I'm going to take that off in a minute, but that goes into there. Now what I've done is I've split it. So all the breakers have been mounted this morning, but they're all just mounted in one area. Well, I don't want them mounted in one area. I want some over this side, some over that side, some at the bottom, some at the top, because there's like a 3-core 70. One of those is a 3-core 70, and I want it to sort of give me a bit of space to get the terminals done. The neutral block is at the side there, so I'm going to need some pins for that, and there's one over that side as well, and the earth block is at the top. So again, I'll be able to get a 50 in it, I think, but anything bigger I'm going to need some pins. So yeah, there's still a little bit of work to do, and I might be able to show you a little bit when all this gets changed, because they've got CTs to go on as well, which is another thing. So the CTs need to be mounted in order for me to get, so I'm going to have even less, I won't have that, I'll have less space to get the seat when the CTs get mounted as well. So it's a bit of a pain. I didn't do that, by the way. That's the incomer. That's weird as well, because that's the incomer. It's not at the bottom on its own switch. It's just part of the, bizarre, isn't it? Just when I'm going to bed. Van life. Good morning. I've just woken up. I'm not usually great on a morning, but what I wanted to do was show you my commute to work on this Exeter job. I usually park in the lay-by, which is about 50 yards that way, but it was full last night. So I parked in the pub car park over the road, which I didn't go in for a pint, so it's a bit rude, but never mind. Anyway, I thought I'd show you how long it takes me to get to work. I might not even have to time lapse it. So that shows you the benefits of having a van and being able to park quite close to work. It's now 8:25 on Wednesday morning. So this is it. Oh yeah, I need some petrol, diesel even. Oh, I do need some diesel. I've only got 28 miles. Uh-oh. So the landlord of the pub has conveniently been looking out the window at me there, so that'll be the last time I'm allowed to park in there, in that car park, without going for a pint, I suppose. So we're going to do a right at these lights. They are on go, but there's a big stream of traffic. Am I going to get through before they go on to red? Yes, I am. Brilliant. Oh man. Oh man. Well, there we go. Whoa, what's he doing? That must have been a red light, that. Turn left here. So just over in that direction over there, that's Exeter Airport. So all day you get little two-seater passenger planes, two-seater planes, but every now and again there's like an airliner comes in. They are quite loud at that height. And basically I'm pulling onto site now. So that's it. That's my commute to work on a morning on the job at Exeter. Now that has been 2.5 minutes, so I don't even think I'm gonna time lapse that. I'm just gonna have it as 2.5 minutes, and now I'm going to use the facilities because I need to get myself a little bit lighter. I don't like the look of that cloud over there, that sky. Good grief, looks like it's got some rain in it. Oh God, we're going for a downpour today. Should I tell you what trick blew me away when I was a youth? Bearing in mind I was about 16. Let's assume this tray is it goes right back to the wall and I can't get I can't get my hand round, so I can't get a tie wrap through, right? And I can get it through, but I can't get it back through the hole. So do that, right? Roll the tie wrap so it's got a curve on it, and then put it through the hole. Comes through the other side. Now that's simple, right? That's easy, and I know people are going to go, oh, everyone knows that. But if nobody showed you how to do that, how do you know about that? Like a couple of tip videos I've put up, people have gone, oh, it's just common knowledge. But then you get loads of people saying, mate, didn't realise. That's brilliant. So it's good to share, it's good to talk. I know it's a simple thing, but it blew me away when I was a kid. I loved it, and I still love it. Right, I've realised that this video hasn't been very long, but the reason it hasn't been very long is because I've had a million things to do in a short space of time. Anyway, it's Thursday morning, and I've got one cable to put away. So I've worked like mega hard. I was there till, was it 7 o'clock last night, and we just really pushed it to try and get cleared up. Anyway, done it, sorted. I'm going to go in now. I've got 4-core 95 to do, so I'll do a little video on that, and then I'm away. So it's just a different feel to the video. Normally it's me telling you all sorts of stuff and how I did it and showing you how I did it. But this week, nothing. I've hardly done anything. It was a bit like, obviously Monday it didn't work on the other job, so then drove down here, but then it was sort of, this needs smashing to get done. So yeah, this is me filming from the back of the van, just got up. I'm going to get sorted. Oh dear. And get on and get off. Right, first job I've got to do is connect that earth. Now, there's not a lot of bolts in there. And there's some, now look, they've done them like that. So I don't know whether to go, well, I can't go onto that one because that's the joint. So I'm struggling, I might have to double up. Or is there a spare one in there? Oh, there is. So there's a spare one there, I'll go on to that. Right, so I've got the 95 dies in this one. So I need to put the 16mm crimping die in. Struggling to make money if you're putting 16mm crimping dies in. Right, that's that. I'll get this crimped up and taped up and connected. This is actually helping this because the light off the camera is giving me a bit of a better view. it tied up. Right, that just wants tightening up and done. Right then, this is the job. What I've got, I had a 50mm forecourt in there with an earth, right? Now it didn't go to this panel, but it was dressed down that tray, and there was a coil there, right? And the lad said to me, that's the first one you're doing. Right, oh, no problem. Now it isn't. So what I've got to do now is I've got to put a forecourt 95 in the same panel. Now I could just put the 32mm inside the 50mm and drill that out, but it's going to drill it out obviously over there like that, and I don't want to do that because I want to try and cover this hole with the banjo. Now the way to do obviously that I can't do anything with that, but it saves them putting a piece of metal over there, and it'll just look a bit scruffy. So I need to drill sort of here, but I've got nothing to drill to. So what I've done, the 2 bits of wood, I couldn't find like a 3x2 or anything like that, so I'm going to make a T-piece, and I'm going to drill into the wood, which will then take me into the steel, and then I can position where I want the banjo to go, which I want to keep that edge, that back edge, and take this piece of material out here. So I'll have a look at that now. So there we go, like a nice moon shape, but it was to the back side. I'm not going to touch it because it's hot. To the back side of the 32, and then I've opened it out, whereas it would have been a bit further over this way had I just went straight through the middle. So I've created, I'll be able to cover that now with the banjo. So just helping out, like they say in Tesco, every little helps. Isn't going to work. A big cheater. Don't do a straight cut. Try and get a bend, a curve in it. Oh. Not too bad.
Last one, let's go.
So what I've done is I've turned the volume down to the main recording, and basically I've got a tripod set up and I'm in the main factory, and it's surprising. They all knew that I was filming a YouTube video, but it's surprising how many people come over and pretend that they want to talk to you and they want to ask you questions when it's basically just an excuse to try and get onto your YouTube video, because they, like I say, they all knew. And rather than coming over and saying, "Oh, can I be on your YouTube video? Can I be on your channel? Can I do this? Can I do that?" They just come over, mill around when they're seeing the tripod being set up, and you'll see like people just walk past and talk to you. That's why I've turned the sound off, because some of them swear as they talk to you, and it's just a nightmare to edit all of the swearing out. I know I've sworn in this video, but there was a reason I've sworn in this video. So like there's 4 people now. As soon as I've set up the tripod, 4 people have come over and sort of wanted to be in the video. I just think it's fun. If they wanted to be in it, all I've got to do is ask, and I could introduce them and I could talk to them and we can have a bit of a chat. But it's just me, just interrupting me doing my work, basically. Now, there were a good bunch of lads on that job. The job was for was it On Power? I think they were called On Power. They were the main electrical contractor. They're a good bunch of lads, mainly made up of Midlanders, some local labour from round Exeter way and Taunton and whatnot. But yeah, they're a good squad. But that's enough of me rambling and whatever. I'm going to see they're just talking to me. I'm just having to listen to them rabbit on. And all I want to do is tighten my lock nut. Look. Just shut up and let me do my graft. But I don't mind talking to people. It doesn't bother me one bit. I quite like it on site. You have quite a bit of fun. Have a bit of banter, have a bit of crack with the lads. Yeah, good thing about construction. At least you have fun all day. It's not too serious. Anyway, I'll be quiet now, and I think that's almost it. I've just got a little bit of tying in to do, so the cable runs through down the tray. Use that little bendy tie wrap trick that I showed you earlier on, and just hook them through both holes, and you're able to get a tie on the cable, because that tray is quite close to the wall, and although it is held off by unistruts, my hands are quite thick. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? My hands are quite thick, but I can't think of any other way to describe it. And I can't get my hand round the back of that 300mm tray, so I've got to do the little bendy trick. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to tie the cables in. But that was me. This is my last bit. This is my last little bit of the job today. I surpassed myself, really. I got more done than I thought I'd get done. We all work quite hard, to be honest, on that, to push it on to get it finished, because it's 278 miles from my house to Exeter. That's a good slog.
Right, so that's the Glanding procedure. I just need to drill the banjo, and then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a quick look at the way the cores fall as to which way I'm going to terminate it, because it's not always, you know, you don't always go neutral, brown, black, grey. Sometimes it could be beneficial to put the grey in first and then follow it on with that, the way that the cores fall out of the cable. So I'm just going to have a quick look. Let's have a bunches. I think the grey will be better going in first. Because if I'll raise the grey up a little bit, then the black follows underneath it. Then yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's the way we're going to go. Oh, nearly hit the camera. An emu involved again. Just going to round the edge, around the end of the cable, just to make the lug go on easier. Just give it a little tap. Now, what I have seen people do in the past is tap the top, but with a normal steel hammer. Now what happens is it distorts that hole, so that hole then becomes sort of elliptical, if you want, and you can't get your bolt through it. I've seen loads of people do that. So if you are going to tap the end, make sure you use a rubber hammer. That'll do. Get a print on that. And I put it across just before the actual palm of the lug, right? And then as you wind it down, obviously you're getting your coverage. Then, when you get to the bottom, make one tape run parallel to the bottom of the lug and then come back up. And what that does, it gives you uniform coverage on every one you put in. So straight line, looks a little bit nicer. And there's a man here I need to talk to. So I'm gonna use that. Oh, and there we go. I'm not gonna whiz it up. I'm gonna put maybe one bit of torque as the torque kicks in, just one. That's it. So that's not going to be over tensioned or anything like that. Still moves, still free, and then obviously whoever comes to put the torque setting on it. You can do exactly as they please. So, just getting the bend on L2 now. Right over, obviously. And then what you do is, once that's bent, then you can work your bending where you want it. Now, the first one, I cut by eye into there, right? I'm not going to do that on this one because they need to be the same. The first one, you've got a little bit of play, a little bit of artistic license. But the second one, you don't. There we go. So we're in. You need to get set it exactly the same as the grip. It's more at the bottom this. So obviously they're going up straight, so you should be able to make it, unless you make it too long of course and try to kick in it. But there we go. I'm going to have that, and then what I'm going to do is take off my measure. I'm not going to bother putting a lug in. I'm going to take my measure off this, off the other lug that's in there. Risky, I hear you say. Well, it is, but everything like that comes with experience. Again, cutting across the widest part of the cable as well, which helps. But also, what helps is a little squeeze from the grips. Because obviously the barrel of the lug is circular, cylindrical. That's triangular furcated. Nicely lined up. Check. There we go. Stick some crimps on it. The battery's not the greatest. I don't know whether it'll get off. No. She's a struggling. Ah, there's a black paper. Just don't panic, it's alright, I found it. Start at the top, just work your way down. One tape width at the bottom of the lug. There we go. And then back up to give it double coverage. There we go, done. Just makes it nice and neat. The old sausage. Jubbly. I think it's going to make it, you know, the old crimper. Well, the old battery anyway. There's another thing as well. So when you take your tape off, try and take it off so you can fold it round the back so you haven't got like an ugly line on the front where the tape's been snapped. It's not always possible, but just another little thing. Right, there we go. So, cable drops down, did our little bit of magic trick on the hole to get the Glanding to cover the other hole that was there, so that's gone now. And then cables up and in, pretty decent job. I don't know, it took about half an hour or something. So now I've got to tidy all of this mess up and go home. Right, that's it. All done, dusted, sorted out. All signed off. On my way home now. It's 5 hours. I've just looked on the sat nav. 5 hours 2 minutes. So that'll be fun, won't it? Oh God. But decent little job there. I enjoyed it. It'll only be a short video this week, I think, because it's I was under the cosh a bit because I had to get it all done in 4 days. So I did a lot of work that you never saw, just so I didn't have to set the camera up and do all of that. And I didn't film a lot. I filmed a bit this morning because I only had one to do. But all done, dusted. Thank you very much. I'm going to start doing. I've got a TikTok thing now. I've set that up. I don't know whether anyone's on it. But what I'm going to start doing on TikTok is like the tip videos, because I think the format works better with a short video, because that's what TikTok's all about really. So if you want to see the tip videos and stuff like that, you'd have to go and see me on TikTok, I think. But yeah, I've got a 5-hour drive now. But what I usually do, put some music on and I have a little concert, I have a little sing-song to myself. So I'll be doing that all the way home. But thank you very much for watching as usual. and remember, little thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much. See you later. Ta-ra.